Hello friends, it's Erin. I feel like it's been a really long time since I filmed for YouTube, and I did post a video last week that I had been sitting on for a while, and so it was actually filmed probably at least a month and a half ago, I want to say. Who knows? It's nice to be back, and it's nice that that video is getting really good reception. Like, it's been viewed over 5,000 times, I think, and that's not like normal for my videos. So it's very it's encouraging and it's affirming, and I want to keep up with YouTube as much as possible. So here I am, and it's a good time to be here because it's planner season and everybody's talking about planners and journals and the things that you're going to be using for next year, and I'm no exception. I'm like in the thick of it, trying to figure everything out. I think I've figured it out, and I am really excited about it, actually, and there will be more to come. Actually, while I'm on that topic, go ahead and check to see if you're subscribed. I mean, unless you're brand new here, hi, I'm Erin. If you're new, you might want to see if you want to subscribe, but if you have watched my videos and you think you're subscribed, go ahead and check, because I have found that I am not subscribed to as many people as I think I am, and YouTube just keeps giving me videos of, you know, the same creators, and that's nice, but I want to make sure I'm subscribed to some of them. So if you wouldn't mind, do that. And I also wanted to show you this cute little block that my son made for me, and it's just delighting my heart. It never fails. Every time I start to film a video, the ice machine starts running behind me, and I'm so sorry about that noise every single time I film. So yeah, I have this sitting here next to me on my desk, and it's just so cute. So I'll leave that there. I'm going to share with you it's the Sterling Ink Common Planner B6 whole year. I used this for last year, or this present year, but over the past year, as what I called my personal space journal. And that's because I do a lot of things for, I'm an artist, and I do a lot of journaling, etc. for work, planning for work, and a lot of my books seem to be dedicated more to work type things, art type things, and I wanted a place where I could just have fun and be myself apart from that, which is frankly quite hard for me to do because it's really hard to separate myself, like at my artist self, from my what else. So this is a place where mostly I kept up with reading goals. Hobby goals, though, frankly, most of those fell off, and just other, I don't know, interesting things. I did have it in here all year until just recently. I just moved it out and put just a plain notebook in there this is also from Sterling Ink, but it's just a plain grid notebook for something different. But the reason I've already moved out of it is because I am done with this book, and I know the year's not over, but I basically gave it up in June, and I'll show you that. But I had like a life change happen around in the summer, like things changed, and this journal, just for a while, it was just something I wasn't getting into, and then it just felt like it was done, and it has been done. So I've done a couple things in the back, but like not that many things since the summer, just really a couple pages maybe, and generally speaking, I was done in June. In retrospect, it would have been really great to have a half-year book, because that would have been perfect. I would have filled it up and it would have been amazing. But instead, I have a whole year book that's only half full. But we're just gonna call it done for now, and I'm gonna put it away. So I wanted to show you, flip through it, you know, to say goodbye to it and to share it with you. I loved opening up to this when I opened this journal. It's just so me and so like, I don't know, a little bit fairy tale, a little bit like, I don't know. I made this label and I made this pattern paper, and then this is an illustration by, I can never remember, so I wrote it down. It's like Bernard Nast, I think. It's from, it's not recent. It's like a vintage illustration. I don't know when exactly, but it's from, I think, the Swan Prince. Anyways, I love it. So stuck it there. More of my pattern paper, more of my illustrations, and a note. I tried to, this was aspirational. I never kept to those routines. And then I did make a vision board that was specifically about my own hobbies, home related stuff, adventure, you know, family related things. And I loved that I did this. I love vision boards. I love looking at them. I just don't think it's ever something that, there's a lot of sewing related things in here, knitting things. I didn't really do any of that this year. So I feel kind of like, I'm not sure it actually works for me if it's supposed to work. But I like it. And I'll probably keep doing them just because I think they look nice. What do you think? Do you think vision boards, like, do they actually help you attain your goals, or are they just for looks? Yeah. And then here's some goals, personal goals that I had in here and then really never went back to. They're like long-term goals. Yeah, not so much for the year, but just like long-term. And then, yeah, these, so basically because this was a hobby journal, I really didn't use these pages. Like, I kind of started to, but it was more about like, once I started this, this was what it was about. So I started tracking my reading with these dot stickers. I had a lot of dot stickers, and then of course I bought some more, but I love dot stickers, but I am not good at color coordinating things. I love color coordinating things, and I love creating keys and coming up with, you know, how I'm gonna do it, and then I never do it. Like, I just don't, my brain does not work that way. Things are never neat and tidy, like in categories for my brain. And so it doesn't work for me in that way. So I had to come up with a creative way to use my dot stickers that I love. And so I just used them as a tracking system for when I was reading. So each book got its own color. And then I would just, if I read, because I'm always reading multiple books, if I read from that book that day, I'd put the sticker on the day. And so then you can see, like, on this day, I read out of 3 different books, and I finished one of them and began the sequel. You know, here I read out of 3 different books. And I would just make a little mark when I finished a book, and then I would write it like a star rating down below. So this was maybe one of my favorite things about this journal. And I kind of miss it a little bit, except I haven't been reading like nearly as much as I was in the beginning of the year. So things change. My life is a little different, and priorities are different. And so I am not doing this at the moment, but I am planning on bringing this back possibly in my, like in another planner, like in my Hobonichi weeks for next year. So I do love it. Like, I think it's so not only fun, but it's useful to see how long it took me to read a book, and for me to keep track of all the books I'm reading. I'm always reading way too many books. So I really enjoyed that. And here I left off in June. In June, I we traveled and I got really sick, and like that was just kind of the end of this. I'm fine. I had an ear sinus infection. Like it was, like I was really sick here, but I'm not really sick now. I'm fine. I just want to be clear about that. Yeah, so that's it for the months. Never got back to it. And then I'll show you my weeklies. I love doing the weeklies. I've never been really a vertical weekly memory keeping kind of girl. I can keep up with it for a short time, and then I just can't. And I think the only reason why it did so well, like why I kept up with it in this book for so long, is because I loved the journal itself, and I loved being in here, and I loved the idea of making something that was just for me, and just, not that I couldn't share it, but just I didn't have to think so much about, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I was just doing what I wanted to do, and it was nice. I can't even tell you how it's different in other journals, but it just felt different in here for some reason. And I had a lot of fun with it. I think, once you get started on something and you're enjoying it, there is that momentum. You just want to keep going. And so I did for a while. I kept up with it and enjoyed it. This was not a great week. I definitely had to like go back and do some of these after the week. See, this one didn't get quite as filled up. Yeah. Sort of the beginning of the end. I lost my momentum, and I just didn't get back to it. I think once I lose momentum in things, I just don't really go back, which is fine. It still looks nice. Like, yeah, so here's the end. That was the end of that. And then so back here, this was really helpful. So let me tell you about this. So in the middle of the book, where it changes from weeklies to like daily pages, but in here it's just blank grid paper, I glued, I don't know if this was sticker paper or if I glued it in. Maybe it's, yeah, I glued it in, I think, or taped it in. It's some of my pattern paper, and then I put a little tabby thing here, which made it really easy for me to find the middle of the book. So I don't know, I would do that again, because it's almost like a, not a file folder, but like a, what do you call those? Like a, I don't know. It separates things, separates it, and it makes it clear where the next part begins. So back here, I did a lot of writing about not about so much books, but like book lists of all types. Books I wanted to read, books I wanted to just check out. This is something that I made that is a print out I printed it on clear sticker paper, and then kind of cut it up in various parts and glued it in here, or not glued, stuck it in here because I just liked it. I just wanted to see it more often. Sometimes, when I make things, they get kind of hidden away and I forget about them, but this was something I really enjoyed, and it is kind of like a diary entry. So I will tell you now that if you are interested in receiving this, I will post a link below of, I have a couple of freebies out right now. One is a sheet of like printables, stickers, like illustrations that you can print out. And there's another separate freebie that is this, that has to do with my newsletter. So if you if you go subscribe, look for the link. I'll try to write it out so it makes more sense. But you can get these 2 freebies just for signing up for my email like newsletter. So if you're interested, go look at that. Yeah, books and more books. Stationery wish list. I had all these plans of reading all these books that are more like, I guess, academic, just learning about stuff. And I failed at that for sure. And then I had sewing patterns I tried sewing one day, and it was so sad because I was into it. I had things working, I had everything set up, and I was cutting out the pattern, and I got so far, and then I couldn't finish it because I didn't have part of the pattern, which is weird. I don't know where it went, but that's how that went. I just was done after that. I was like, well, guess I'm not gonna have that shirt. Oh well. Well, I haven't talked about these trackers. I think I skipped over it kind of. But I loved using these trackers, with the moon trackers by Essie, which I'll link below. But I'm not good at tracking, and you'll see that sometimes I didn't do much at all, but they just look cool anyways. If you don't keep up with them, they still look really nice because they're so well designed, and I enjoyed them a lot. I'm not using them anymore because, like I said, I'm terrible at tracking. But if I would definitely think about using them again if I wanted to try tracking some stuff. There's a list of books I read that somewhere in the middle of the year I didn't finish. Yeah, you know what I mean. So writing about like my journals and planners and things, a self-care plan that I never finished, never came back to actually do it. Just some notes on some things. This was like trying out like sort of a commonplacing layout with the margin and stuff. I've actually had a notebook that looked like this before. I think it was a Moleskine notebook, and I used it for grad school, and I really enjoyed having the section on the side to make notes. They still make those if you're interested. They're pretty cool. Yep. Notes and things, and just, I mean, in a lot of ways this was like a commonplace book, but just not so organized as some people's. And that's because I just don't do things that way. My brain doesn't work that way. Putting things into categories, it just doesn't make sense to me. It does in the beginning, and then soon I'm like, well, this goes in like 3 categories, and this and this doesn't go in any of the categories, and what do I do? So let me know if you're like me in that area, because there are certain brains that don't. I think a lot of people love categories, and then there are some of us that just don't work that way. This was supposed to be a list of books that they're books on my bookshelf that I wanted to read. And I do think maybe I have read maybe a couple more on this list, but seriously did not do a good job with that this year. Maybe we'll try that again next year. Another tracker, some notes on things, ink swatches, yeah, I like writing things down, and so this was a really good place to come and just write things, like ridiculously long lists of books. I took a whole weekend and did all this. I mean, amidst everything else. but it was a lot of fun. I was trying to keep track of the books I purchased last year. Some of these are audiobooks, and some of them are ebooks, and some of them are physical books. And then, is this where I started this? I feel like at some point I started making like a monthly, I don't know, like I used Courtney Diaz's calendars and made like important dates page, and then I had my tracker, and I did that for a few months, and that was a lot of fun. Setting up a bullet journal. More book lists. Here's the April page. So you can tell that I didn't do that many pages per month because the monthly dividers are like so close together. But this was a pretty page. I mean, look how pretty that is together. And then there's my tracker. I was trying to put together a writing notebook, so I was journaling about my writing notebook, and then I never really, that writing, it's more of a binder because it's a ring bound thing, but it never, we're still in progress with that. Some plants we planted in our yard, plants that I want to plant, ideas for plants. I like that page too. This one I made in part, it was for myself, like it was before the summertime, and I wanted to make some notes about things that I felt would be important to keep up with, or not keep up with, but just enjoy during the summer when my kids were home. And I used Courtney Diaz's printables, and then actually I was like, I was a guest on her Patreon. I made a video for her while she was away, and that was fun. So it was like journaling like Courtney sort of thing, but like really like Courtney and me, because her pages look a lot different than this, but I use some of her techniques that she likes to use. Here's the May page. I could never consistently print these calendars out at the right size for myself. I never quite got that. But look at this tracking this month. I don't know what it means, but I did it, and I was really proud of myself. More reading goals for the summer reading. This is my summer reading program I made for myself, and as you can see, I did not do a very good job, but like I said, I had a weird summer. Summer did not go as planned, and so it's okay. I did read some of these. I read at least parts of some of these, and I have finished Piranesi now. I read more of this. Like, I don't know. Sometimes your plans are just like a little overambitious. It's a journaling page on synchronicity. My June cover page. I don't know what to call these. I've called them cover pages and what else? Dividing pages. I really like this one. I'm not very good at printing things out, so I probably just forgot like to print out the calendar from Courtney. And then I made this. I actually really kind of hate this page. I don't like how everything, I don't know why. I just don't like it. But I did like the book, The Prisoner's Throne, and then what was the first one? It's in the Cruel Prince world. The Stolen Heir, I think. And I really like those books. So I made a page about it, journaling about mid-year stuff. Another book list. This was actually more recent. I was just making some notes about things that I'm going to use for next year, things that I already had to use. And then that's it, some pen tests. Yeah, I moved out of this. I had some more things in the back. I don't know if that's worth showing you, but I'll show you. So I just had like some books that I was going to try to keep up with all my books that I read like that. I did start in the, I can't really show you those pages. It's journaling, but it's like my practice pages for when I started last like November with this journal. And then I had intentions of making sort of like an index or contents, but I just wrote the one note about the illustration in the front. And then that was it. It's just, there's probably a pen test page. So, I mean, it was a really good journal for me. I mean, it's already pretty chunky, and that's only half full. So it could get a lot chunkier than that. And I don't know if I'll ever use these pages. I could, like, if I got really ambitious, just keep using it as a reading journal. The thing is, I don't see myself doing that in this season of my life, so I'm putting it away for now, and I think that's okay. But at another time, at the right time in my life, I would definitely like do something like this again. It was really fun, and I enjoy it. I enjoy flipping through it. I hope you did too. So anyways, thanks for watching and for stopping by, and I will hope to see you soon with another video, hopefully next week. All right, have a good week. Bye-bye.